playing with objects in a 3D world is quite fun. So talking about the directional and coordinate systems, Unreal uses the Cartesian coordinate systems to position and move everything around all of the objects. And so you're going to see, if you click on an object, you're going to see that it has arrows that come out of it depending upon what thing you have selected. And so you have the x-axis, which is forward and backward, right? And then you have the y-axis, which is right and left, and z-axis, which is up and down. Now the joys about this is it's 365, right? Or 360, so you could turn things around, and it gets a little confusing about which is up and down, which is left and right, and which is forward and backwards. So that is one of those fun parts of this. So if we go and look at our Unreal Engine, and I'm just going to pick an object, and let's take this. I'm going to take it and put it in here, out here, so we could just go and look at it, right? And so you can see that we have this arrow system on it, and moving around so we could get it in the right spot. You can see over here on the right hand side, we have our details pane, right? And this details pane shows what is called the transform thing. And you'll see here we have red, green, and blue. So that kind of coordinate goes with these different options in here of X, Y, and Z. So my guess is red is X, green is Y, and blue is Z. And if you want to do this, right, so you can change this and we can go and look. I clicked on the wrong thing, obviously. All right, there, I got it back. I can move it, and you can see here the location has changed, right? And it's only changing along the x-axis. So, right, so I'm at 30 now, and now I'm at 150. I can also change it by doing it directly in the box. I can type the numbers, so I can put it at 10, I can put it at 0. So you can see it, you can move it around, and depending upon your granularity of how much you want to move it, you can deal with that. Then you could also move it if you want to do it within, like the green is probably going to be the Y. So if we move the green over here, right, we'll see we're at negative 1400 right now, and now I'm at negative 1100, right? And if I wanted to, we could look and see where 0 is, and I'll hit F. Oh, there you go. So now we can see where 0 is. So we don't really want it in the middle of things. Oh, but we could just use, right, we could use our Z to get it out of inside the thing and get it on top of the item, the platform that it's on, right? So you can see now it's moving the Z. So this is the transform part of it. We're moving the location of this, of the item, right? That's the X, Y, and Z is the location. And that's with the arrows. Now if we want to change that, and we don't want to deal with the arrows, but we want to maybe look at something else, there is other aspects of this that we can look at, which is manipulating the object. So we are moving the object with translate, which is the location of where it's at. So there's other options of doing it, which is rotation and scaling. So to get to those different ones, there's multiple ways, but I'll show you of changing it. You'll see over here on the left hand side, right, we have the one that's highlighted blue is the arrows, and that's saying it's translate. If we click over on the next one, it changes it to rotate, which now you'll see has similar stuff like the red, green, and blue. And you'll see, but they're more round now, and that's because when you turn them, it's going to turn them at an angle instead of, you know, moving them left and right, up and down, and forward and backwards. So now this is manipulating everything on angles. And so you could rotate it at any kind of angle you want. And again, you could still do the same thing over here where we could have it set to 0, and or we could set it to 90, and that's probably not good, so we'll set it back to 0. And here we'll set the Y one to 90, right? And so now you can see it's laying down instead of the way it was standing. And then the Z rotation we can set to 0 and see what it does. And so you can see it just manipulates it around whatever axis that you want here, right? So that's how you can maneuver things and change things here. And then the last one is we click on this little square looking one, and you could also use there's hotkeys that you could use for these two. And what I mean by hotkeys is you just push one button, like the F key that I told you about, the Frank key. There's also E, which is rotating, R, which is scaling, and W, which is translating, so moving it around. So W, E, R are the 3 buttons that you push for manipulating the objects. So I'll demo the scaling one. Kind of is exactly what it sounds like. You could either click on these boxes and move them up and down to get the scaling. And if we get this looking right, let's move over here. And I click on the white one, that does all 3, right? It changes and grows all 3 ones. And or you could click each individual one and make those change. And again, you could do the same thing over here with numbers. So that is basically the manipulating of the objects.